Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. This video covers a piece of news that is potentially the most significant, most important piece of news we've had so far at all regarding Call of Duty Black Ops 4, okay? This is going to fundamentally change the way that we, as fans of Call of Duty, experience this game. It's going to completely, drastically change the way that we digest the new story that's about to unfold and be weaved in front of our very eyes over the next 12 months, 12 being the assumed number of months that they're going for. It's also going to fundamentally change the way that we play the Blackout Mode in Black Ops 4. It's going to completely revolutionize what we might see in terms of post-launch support for the game. It's just a big deal. If you're an Xbox player, this is phenomenal news. It's massive. If you're a PlayStation player, this is also phenomenal news. It's a big deal, okay? So, let me get reading an Activision post, and then I'll try and help you understand why I think this is such a massive, massive boon for Call of Duty. Black Ops 4's post-launch support first details is what we're going to be looking at today. Following last week's incredibly fun Blackout beta, developer Treyarch yesterday shared the first details of their post-launch plans for Call of Duty Black Ops 4. The studio's mission is to deliver a new level of community support and engagement for Black Ops, featuring the most active calendar of events in studio history, and a variety of free content coming to the entire community, across multiplayer, zombies, and Blackout. Here is a sample of what's in store for the entire community for free following launch. Nuketown. This fan-favorite map returns in an all-new take in December. Specialists. Prepare for a new character to debut in December, and more will follow afterwards. Blackout. Launch day is just the beginning. The map experience will evolve. Be on the lookout for map updates, expansions, and new Blackout modes. And events. Seasonal and time-limited events will bring new game modes and content to Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Treyarch has reiterated that the studio is 100% committed to supporting their Black Ops community for the long haul, and this is only the start. And this is the key point, alright? Listen up. Make sure you're sitting in your chair. Make sure you're comfortable. For fans who want even more content, there's also the Black Ops Pass, which is available for standalone purchase at launch and afterwards. Speaking of content, PlayStation 4 players will get to play new content first on PS4 by 7 days. So the new branding that Call of Duty are introducing with their PlayStation partnership is not the 30-day exclusivity anymore that we've seen since 2015 when it switched to PlayStation, and then prior when it was on Xbox. Instead, we're now seeing play new content first on PS4, but it's only 7 days. So they have basically culled that exclusivity window by 3 weeks, and now it's only 1 week of exclusivity. This is going to completely change everything, seriously. There is also a key point, though, that is worth mentioning before we ramble on too much about how exciting this is and how much of a positive change this is, okay? This means all the playable content coming to the Black Ops universe following launch will land 7 days early on PS4, including new specialists and maps, as well as seasonal events. After 7 days, all new playable content will come to other platforms. In addition, PlayStation announced today there will be multiple PS4 bundles releasing across Europe on October 12th, giving fans a variety of choices to enjoy Black Ops 4's thrilling multiplayer zombies and Blackout modes at launch and beyond. Exact bundle offerings will vary, so check with your local retailers. So, the key change that has been made here is Activision and PlayStation have sat down in a room together and struck a new deal. They have essentially been going back and forth, clearly, and have come to the agreement that seeing as the content offering for Black Ops 4 is going to be so starkly different to the content offerings we've seen for previous Call of Duty games, it doesn't make sense anymore to just do 30 days of exclusivity for the 4 big DLC packs and leave it at that. Clearly, Sony have seen that Activision have plans for Black Ops 4 to be updated every few days, and it doesn't really mean that much to them if they're only getting exclusivity on the big map packs, but then all the continuous updates are simultaneous on both platforms. So clearly Sony have come along and said, we want exclusivity on everything. Every single seasonal event. If it's Halloween, okay, start it a week early on PS4. Oh, you're doing a Christmas event? Start it a week early on PS4. What's that? It's Easter, it's Thanksgiving, it's Black Friday. Start it a week early on PS4. That's clearly something they want, and that's going to carry over as well to, oh, you've got an update of a new gun in Blackout? Start it a week early on PS4, etc. Now, Activision have evidently come back to them and said, well, that's a lot of exclusivity. Like, that's a big deal. And if it was 30 days on everything, it clearly wouldn't work, right? It just wouldn't make sense. They couldn't say, oh yeah, we're releasing a new gun today in the Blackout Mode, for example. Let's say they're releasing a new LMG, and then after 10 days, they're like, okay, we're getting rid of it now. And then Xbox had that happen a month later for 10 days, and then also had that weapon vaulted or something. Like, it would just not work. So clearly, they've basically come back to Sony and said, we've got to make that window shorter. It has to be 7 days now. And that's the new balance that has been struck. Now, in an ideal world, there would be no exclusivity at all. I'm sure it would make Treyarch's lives a lot easier. I'm also sure that it would mean that the community was a lot more together. A lot more kind of, sort of community compared to what we currently have, which is really a kind of fractured seam in the middle between Xbox and PlayStation. And it kind of is understandable. I mean, COD was exclusive on Xbox for so long, for so many years, and then when it switched to PlayStation, you obviously had some people that had the luxury of being able to switch, and others that couldn't afford to buy a new console, or couldn't afford to suddenly lose all their friends on Xbox and just start afresh on PlayStation. Like, I totally get that. But by narrowing the gap here, what we essentially get is a much more wholesome environment for Call of Duty fans to experience these games. And I really do wish that they could have just gone one step further and get rid of the exclusivity because, I mean, think about it, right? Fortnite's got something figured out where they can update the game very, very fast. Like, their speed of updating is incredible, right? And they're not always big things. It could just be a little tweak here and there, but because there's content, it keeps the community alive. That community thrives on their update model. With Call of Duty, if you're that guy at Treyarch, or you're that girl at Treyarch, whoever, and you're sitting down at a desk going, I want to update my game every 3 days. Oh, I can't because this update has to, if it's going to have a short life cycle, if it's something that's just going to happen for 1 day only, that update would have to happen on PS4, and then a week later would have to happen on Xbox. And it would just feel really disjointed, and you can't, like, surprise Xbox players ever, because it's already happened on PS4. And so they've had to kind of digest that content anyway through the lens of YouTube, through the window of the PlayStation videos and conversations and things like that they don't really have access to. I mean, you think about something like this cube in Fortnite right now, right? This cube is taking over the world. I don't really understand why, because I haven't played Fortnite in a long time, but people are very excited about a cube moving around the Fortnite map. Cool, fine, fair enough, absolutely fine by me. But can you imagine how lame it would be if the cube moved on PlayStation and a week later it moved on Xbox? Like, there'd be no hype for it on Xbox. There'd be no point in that whole narrative being told, that narrative being spun out on the Xbox platform. It would be completely useless because they'd already have told the story on the PlayStation one. So it's like, it's a shame that this is still a thing. It's so much better than it was. So much better. And so we have to be happy about at least the fact that the gap is getting narrower. But at the same time, I can't help but feel like it's unfortunate they just didn't go all the way because it is going to narrow the ability of Treyarch to ideas that might be a little bit less exciting for the community. They can't do a Fortnite rocket launch in Black Ops 4 because it just isn't going to make sense now if it's a week earlier on PS4. It just doesn't work. They can't make a cube roam around that Blackout map just because it wouldn't make sense on Xbox, having already been on PS4. And those sorts of ideas are things that Blackout doesn't necessarily need to copy, but it needs to take inspiration from, because Fortnite is redefining the content model for games as a whole, especially for Battle Royale games. And this is meaning that Treyarch are going to be looking at the most played Battle Royale on the planet right now, the most fun, arguably, as well, Battle Royale on the planet available to play for everybody right now. Blackout's not out yet, okay? They're going to be looking at that and going, man, we need to do everything we can to get on these guys' coattails. We need to do everything we can to try and overtake Fortnite. We need to take them down. But, oh, wait, hold on. Actually, we're going to be 5 times less effective because of a marketing deal. It's not ideal, but it's better. It's definitely better. I'm really excited for Xbox players to potentially, okay, this is an actual possibility. I'm excited for Xbox players to get a new map from DLC before the Easter egg has been solved, because let's say on PlayStation, people take a week and they still can't solve that Easter egg, okay? A week is a much more manageable amount of time than a month. So if a week goes by, like happened on Revelations, and PlayStation can't solve it, I would love to see someone on Xbox jump in and solve the egg first. That would be really cool. It opens a load of doors that just weren't there previously. And yes, it's not ideal, but it's better. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below, guys. Please, can we try and avoid a console war? Okay? I know that it's very easy to get sucked into a console war when someone else in the comment section says, ha! Xbox fanboys, they wish they could be at the same time as PS4, but this is the best platform, and so obviously we get it first. And similarly, it's very easy to get sucked into the reverse situation of someone saying, well, it makes sense for them to give a pity beta to the PlayStation players, and then once it gets to Xbox, all the bugs have been ironed out, and then we get the proper experience. Like, people make those sorts of arguments all the time. Don't get hooked in. Like, they're reaching with that fishing rod. Just be calm, all right? I've been MrRoflWaffles. Leave a like if this sounds like good news to you. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys very soon. Ring the bell. Ding dong. Bye-bye.